This video is brought to you by the following. Alright guys, so here's a software demonstration. This is also sponsored by AOMEI Data Backuper. This is a software company. They reached out to me and I'm doing basically a tutorial on their software. This software in particular is a data backuper. For many people out there who like to be able to make sure their data is safe, it's nice to be able to have the peace of mind of backing up your software. Now this is freeware, so you can download this. I'll provide a link in my description, but I'm going to show you basically how to use this software. It's relatively easy, and I think most people would be more than joyed to try out the software, because I think I have a Mac and I do have PCs, but on my Mac my stuff's automatically backed up using Time Machine. But on a PC end there is no Time Machine. And I think this particular software is actually a viable option for people who want to back up their software. Now, one thing you need to realize is that you should never back up the data on the same hard drive that you're actually using, because if that hard drive dies, you lose all the data, including the backup. So there's many options out there depending on the level of your savviness. You can either go out and buy specific targeted hard drives that are designed for backup. And if you find external hard drives, I do have a review on one. If you do find external hard drives that say they're backup hard drives, the only thing that's making them a backup hard drive is the software that actually comes bundled on the hard drive itself. Now there are different levels of hard drives out there as well. There's hard drives that actually perform better longevity wise. You pay more for those type of hard drives as well, but they're more server based hard drives. There's also different speeds, 5400, 7200, 10,000, and then there's also the SSD flash hard drives. SSDs will last you a lot longer. The downfall about them is that the read and writes over time, the flash can only write so many times, and then it won't write anymore. I've never had issues with flash becoming an issue of not writing anymore, but it can be an issue. But the first thing is that you can also build your own hard drive, which I have here. I have a hard drive that I built. This is just a laptop hard drive that I just took out of my old busted up notebook. And Best Buy sells these. They're just a Rocket Fish. It's their brand. And it's actually not a bad looking external hard drive. The two screws come out of the back of here with a USB jack. And if you guys want to know how to make one of these, I know most people, if they're watching my videos, probably know how to make them. But if you don't, shoot me an email or something, and I can probably dismantle this and show you basically what's inside this, and show you how to actually create your own external. And it saves you a lot of money, actually. And then you just need your USB cable. So let me go plug this into the computer down here. Alright, so now that I have my hard drive plugged in, there it pops up. Now that I have my hard drive plugged in, I'm ready to use this hard drive as a backup. Logically, you want to probably choose a hard drive that's based comparable to the hard drive that's inside your computer, so it can actually back up the whole entire hard drive. Even though you probably don't have the entire hard drive full on your computer, I would recommend probably getting something comparable in size. So what you're presented with at the screen when you open the software program is your home screen, which shows you how to create a new backup, your backup, restore, clone, and utilities. So the first thing you're going to want to do when you first load this program is make a new backup. So before we go into that, I'm just going to go into settings. Now, there's different types of compression for backups. You can do different levels. The higher the level will make the smaller image file, but the backup time is longer. So if you want to do literally size for size on the backup, this is why you're going to want to get a hard drive comparable to the size of the hard drive inside. Because the higher the compression, the longer it's going to take to back up. Personally, I don't like to compress stuff. I would just say, hey, data not compressed. It'll significantly increase the size of the image, but everything's intact. It's almost mirroring what it is. So I would probably select none if you can. If you do have a smaller hard drive, you might want to just hit normal. I would try to stay away from doing high. Splitting is another way of splitting a large backup into smaller files. This way you can actually burn a CD if you have only CDs or DVDs or even dual layer DVDs. You probably could even burn Blu-rays, I'm guessing. The Intelligent Sector tab is backup used for sector of file systems, and this will reduce the size of your file and backup time. If you do sector by sector backup, this backup all sectors of the disk or partitions, whether they're used or not. So you can do either an intelligent sector backup or make an exact backup, meaning like whatever your hard drive looks like, that's what it's going to back it up as. Personally, I like the intelligent because really I only want to back up my data files. VSS is a backup technique which is provided by Microsoft that allows the program to back up data without interrupting applications' work. If you don't use VSS, the program will automatically using the built-in technique. So if you don't, you can leave this. You don't have to mess with this. If you use it or you don't use it or you don't know what it is, just leave it alone. So when you want to go create a new backup, all you have to do is hit create a new backup. Now the tab will jump down and it'll say disk backup, partition backup, or system backup. Now I want to do a disk backup because that's where all my files reside. Now if you were trying to save your partitions because you wanted to format it and you didn't care about your files, you might want to do a partition backup. System backup is basically doing the OS. You probably don't need to do a system backup that much because if you have the original disks or something like that, you probably don't need to worry about that. Now, when you click disk backup, you can obviously give it a title. So we can just say this is a disk backup Win 8. Now to everybody that that can look at my screen, I am using the current Windows 8 Professional Edition. This Professional Edition, I know a lot of people do not like Windows 8. It is awkward, but you do not have a start menu down here. That's your start menu. And you have this little slide-in thing here. Honestly, it will work on Windows 7. If you have Windows 7, if you have Windows 8, it will work on Windows 8 as well. Now, step one is you need to select the disks you need to backup. So let's select the disks. I only have one hard drive in here, so we can select that and hit add. Now, it tells me the capacity of it. It's a 372.61 gigabytes. I think it's like a 420 or 400 or 420 gigabyte hard drive. I think it's 400. And I've used only 82.67 gigs. Now, select the hard drive. Now, I'm going to select the new one I just put in. It's the new volume. And hit OK. Now, if you put in a hard drive that's actually smaller, it may not back up everything. Now this is obvious. I know this hard drive is not big enough to actually archive the 82 gigs. This is only like a 40 gig hard drive inside. And then you would hit start backup. Now there are backup options as well. You can put comments, obviously the compression, and you can encrypt the backup as well. And then you can obviously look at all the other ones we've talked about earlier. Then when you're done, you would just hit start backup. And then this is what it would do. Backup is initializing, it's checking the volumes and backing up the information on the storage device. Now this will take some time, so you can actually walk away right now. And if you want to, if you had to go out, you can actually hit this checkbox, shut down computer after completing the operation. And once it's done completing the backup, it'll just shut your machine down and you have nothing to worry about. So that's actually very cool. So I'm just going to actually try to cancel this because there's really no reason I need to back this up because it's not going to... See, now you can see it's starting to process the data. So I'm going to try to close that out, see if I can reopen it again. Alright. So, back into the software again. So that was a disk backup. We have partition backup. Same deal, you would select the partitions. Now I have two partitions here under disk 5 because I just started doing a backup here, so it actually split my hard drive, external hard drive, into two partitions. But my main disk right up here, it's only one partition. My system backup shows you my system, and then I select the path. Now restore, I can actually restore an image from the list in the box. Now I don't have any images yet because I never made one yet, but this is where you would do it. Cloning is kind of like, I guess, ghosts, ghosting a computer, but cloning a partition or volume from one to another, or cloning one hard disk to another. So basically, if you wanted to mirror an image from one computer and put it onto another, this is what you would use. And then these are the utilities. So after you make your image, you can use these utilities to check it. You can create bootable media, or you can actually look around in the actual image using a virtual partition via my computer. Creating bootable media, you can use DVDs and CDs or USB media, which is nice. And USB media is great. I think Windows 7 supports booting up from USB, and Windows 8 as well. So this is basically a brief overview of the AOMEI Data Backuper software. This is a freeware, so you can download it for free and give it a test. If you have any questions or comments about this video or software, please feel free to contact me. And also, if you have any questions about using an external hard drive for a backup, please also comment. And as always, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.